I went through a big journey of what it means to deal with comparison, competition, and also just a big revelation. And I'm super happy to share it right now with anyone watching, because I think that we all go through this journey in life where sometimes when we start to actually, like I went through 3 years of rejection, 3 years of hearing no from everybody. And when I finally got a yes, and my business finally started gaining traction, not everyone was happy about it. and I think sometimes in life, like, that can look like friends or our own family that see our success through the lens of their own fear. Sometimes it can look like competition. Sometimes it can look like other people at work that maybe aren't so happy about your success. But I went through this season where, and listen, like 99% of the other entrepreneurs inside the QVC green room are incredible and supportive and loving. But yeah, I went through a moment where when I started getting success for the first time, we built the largest beauty brand in QVC's history. But for 3 years, it started with no's. And when I finally got a chance to launch there and we finally actually started getting traction, I went through this moment where a couple people weren't so happy about it. And it was like literally dealing with mean girls, but it was really mean adult women. And I went through a season of, trying to handle it by crying myself to sleep or going out in the parking lot and sobbing my eyes out. And it sucks when people aren't kind and they're not rooting for us and they make you feel like you don't belong or you're excluded. You can be the most badass entrepreneur in the world, but it still hurts your feelings. You know what I mean? At the heart and soul of all of us. And I think this is the thing, Maggie, in this book, I'm everyone knows me as like the CEO. This is all the real stuff, because I think that if we don't share the real stories behind the stories, then we all feel alone in our own struggles. And I'm really sharing. This is the first time ever, probably 95% of the book, I've never shared these stories before, but it's the real stuff that happened on the journey, because I want everyone else to know, whether they're building a business or they're trying to elevate and level up in their own career and their own job, they're trying to be a better leader of their teams. Like, these are the real things we struggle with inside. And so one of them that I went through was literally adult bullying. That was real fun. It sucked for a long time. It hurt my feelings. It made me feel like I wasn't welcome, like I didn't belong. Sometimes when people say hurtful things about us, our first instinct is to think something's wrong with us or to be embarrassed about it and not want to tell anybody and not want to share it. And I went through that season too. But I also had some big revelations that I share in this book. And one of them is this, and listen, we're all competitive in our businesses and our jobs, etc. But I believe this is true. And I don't know who needs to hear this today, but I think somebody does, because this is freeing. When we adopt this lesson, it is so freeing. I do not believe any of us are on this earth to compete with anyone else. I literally believe each one of us is here, and we are here to compete with the person that we're born capable of becoming. And when we adopt that mindset, it's so freeing, because like whatever anyone else is doing, if we get distracted by it, it can often just risk us diluting our own secret sauce on our own journey or in our own businesses. I adopted that mindset, and there were a group of women that were so mean. I mean, call it mean girls, mean adult men. But I realized it's just a reflection of them, is what it is. When people try to hurt us, it's like that saying, hurt people, hurt people. It's just a reflection of them and how they want to play. But at the end of the day, I was a distraction to them. And I made this decision. I think this is super important in business and in leadership, is when we realize, like, yeah, of course you want to crush it in your business. Of course you want to crush it in your career. But when we realize literally our only competition is the person we know we're born capable of becoming, whoo, that's a whole different focus.